Welcome to the shed. My name is Nyanso Jeku. I'm flying solo today. Left Nkosana at Joburg. Next week, we continue shedding the light on the African transformation movement. It's been 5 years, Sisi, and you have been the chairperson. What are some of the highlights that you think are worth mentioning in terms of what the ATM has been offering over the past 5 years?
Look, let's first start with the year that we were registered, which was 2018. When we were registered as the ATM in 2018, we were registered less than a year before elections. Other people would normally just say, okay, we're going to go to the elections in 2021, but we are not ready for 2019. But we forced ourselves to actually prepare for those elections. And South Africa knows that we had a lot of people that were attacking us left, right, and center. You know the litigations that we went through during that period because people did not want ATM to be part of the elections in 2019.
How are you shaping yourself up for elections next year in order to avoid not having that majority, which is frustrating you now?
Look, the most important thing is that the people, they need to vote in line with the kind of future they want to live in. They can't be voting because of the past or not wanting to participate in voting at all. So what we're saying is the ATM, critically, we need to invest in the future. And the future lies in educating our young people. The young people, they must go to a space in their schools, a space that will open their hearts, open their minds, so that it's an environment of learning. If you go to a private school, go look at the infrastructure there. You know, utungena and you get the feel that this is a learning environment with bright colors, everything is fine. Go to the public schools, you find that there's pit toilets, there's broken windows, the infrastructure is not at all proper. So that is the first thing that we are saying, invest in proper infrastructure so that the learning environment is conducive for learning.
Why did you agree to come and give message of support to another political party, a potential rival?
No, thank you very much for having us. So we live as the people and we live amongst one another. So we always invite other political parties that are progressive, that are speaking the same language we are speaking, in a quest to really unite Africans, unite Africa. So when we received the invitation by the African Transformation Movement, we were equally excited. And we felt we need to honor this celebration. They are turning 5 years. They are also launching their election campaign.
Otani, and welcome to the sheds. My name is Nyanso Jeku. We're shedding light on issues affecting citizens. To you, I'm coming alone, flying all the way from Gqeberha, where the African Transformation Movement is launching its 2024 campaign and also celebrating its 5 years of existence since its registration. We've left Nkosana Lukocholo Mhlekazi in Joburg, and he'll join us later to help us shed the light on the launch of the ATM as well as its existence is the SG of the movement, Thandi Sizwe Kukula. Molo Mhlekazi.
Molo Nkosi yami, siyabulala.
And welcome to the sheds.
Siyabulala kakhulu.
It has been 5 years since the ATM was officially registered as a political party contesting elections in South Africa. It contested elections in 2019 and came up with 2 representatives in parliaments, as well as one in KZN legislature and another one in the Eastern Cape. It also contested in 2021, where it matched with 55 councillors. Now we are with you right here in the Eastern Cape in Gqeberha. You are saying you are launching your campaign for 2024. How has it been since the ATM was registered?
Thank you very much, Nyaniso, for this opportunity. Ever since the ATM was formed, I would like to mention some things which I think we're very proud of. One, we have experienced growth in terms of the membership of the organization. That is attested to by the number of councillors that we got in 2021. The growth there has been shown to be horizontal than being vertical. because it talks to the spread of the organization. You don't only have councillors that are confined in one corner of the country or one province, but you have councillors that are in many provinces and many municipalities. So we call it growth, but it is horizontal. So even if you look at the maturity of our servants, you will base it using the barometer, which is their performance in municipal councils. So you can see that there is indeed growth as we would have expected, because when you talk of the School of Leadership, I don't think there is any other than the 12 Apostles Church in Christ. That is where you are able to source a fiber of leaders which is equal to the task, because majority of even these deployees in governance is coming from the background of the church. So now getting to your question as to how is it and how has it been ever since, we have experienced very good lessons, very good and positive experiences about the growth of the organization, the maturity in its leadership, but also we are very proud of the nature and the kind of the organization that we have, that we serve in, that we are leading, because it's accommodative to all sorts of people, characters and all kinds, with the hope that everybody gets into the ATM understanding very well that is a different political organization that is founded upon the rock, which is God. So all that has kept us going up to this far. And it also gives us a guarantee that as we move along towards 2024, we're going to make a very good mark. And we're so confident that we're going to be governing after 2024 elections.
SG, you attribute the growth of the ATM and you mentioned the involvement of the church. Somebody will ask, what is the relationship between the ATM and the church? The ATM is a political party and the church that you are mentioning as part of contributing to the growth of the movement. What is the relationship between the ATM and the church, and what role does the church play in the ATM?
Thank you very much for that question, and I think it's very important. One thing, maybe let me move a bit back so that one can first understand the origin and the origin of the whole phenomenon of a party and the church, a political party and the church. Without even going to the biblical trace or Christocentrism as it is articulated by the Bible, but I will tell you something that it's not for the first time that you have a political party like the ATM originating from the church, particularly with the apostles, because history tells us that at the time of Apostle Clippy, Carl George Clippy, who was originating from Australia, and then who was an evangelist, a district elder in terms of the jargon of the 12 Apostles Church in Christ. But even at the time when he was an apostle ordained after he had been serving as an evangelist in South Africa, you will learn from the dictionaries, from the diaries of the apostles, Apostle Ndlovu and Phakathi, the predecessors to the current chief apostle, that it is confirmed that it is through the inspiration of Apostle Clippy, who was, of course, not black in color. He was from Australia to Germany and to South Africa. You will learn that it was through his inspiration that South Africa ended up having very strong Pan-Africanists like Robert Sobukwe, the son of Enoch Sobukwe, the prophet, who was working very closely to Apostle Clippy. And then they formed the PAC. It was Apostle Clippy, Apostle Hlatshwayo, and Enoch Sobukwe, and sent Robert Sobukwe, the son, who was sacrificed to take the lead of the Pan-African Congress, which is the PAC, to advance the agenda of African liberation through and upon the ideology of Pan-Africanism. But two, you will see that after the prophecy of the apostles, that Robert Sobukwe was going to be assassinated or killed. Then there has been a development and the foundation and the birth of a Black consciousness movement by Steve Bantu Biko. So what you see today is not new, that the ATM is founded from within the womb of the church of the apostles.
Hold it right there, SG. You are watching the Sheds. We're shedding light on the African Transformation Movement. Stay tuned. We're coming back after this break. Welcome to the Sheds. My name is Nyanso Cheku. I'm flying solo today. Left to Nkosana at Joburg. Next week, we continue shedding the light on the African Transformation Movement, on its 5-year celebration, as well as launch of its 2024 election campaign. Joining me is Mandi Samashia, the chairperson of the African Transformation Movement. Sisimon,
Molo,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's been 5 years since you've been at the helm as the chairperson of the African Transformation Movement. How has it been chairing this political party?
Wow. I can say it has been inspiring for me. It's been challenging. I'll tell you why it's been challenging. It's been challenging because we are in an ATM that has been formed by TACC. So, like President, I do not have the experience of a political party. The only thing I know best is to chair the young people of TACC. So, being in the political space, people would normally think that we go there and talk church issues. No, we talk politics in ATM. We talk politics, of course, they are unique. So for me, chairing a political space has not been easy. However, the unifying value systems of the ATM makes those challenging experiences to actually be achievements at the end of the day. Because I cannot even today sit here and say that the challenges we've had conflicts. I've known that I'm supposed to play a unifying role in the whole of NAC and in all the structures of ATM. So the last 5 years have actually made me to mature politically, have actually made me to understand not only the internal issues of ATM, but also the external world as we relate with the external organizations as ATM.
It's been 5 years, Sisi, and you have been the chairperson. What are some of the highlights that you think are worth mentioning in terms of what the ATM has been offering over the past 5 years?
Look, let's first start with the year that we were registered, which was 2018. When we were registered as the ATM in 2018, we were registered less than a year before elections. Other people would normally just say, okay, we're gonna go to the elections in 2021, but we are not ready for 2019. But we forced ourselves to actually prepare for those elections. And South Africa knows that we had a lot of people that were attacking us left, right, and center. You know the litigations that we went through during that period because people did not want ATM to be part of the elections in 2019. But the first highlight is that we were able to peacefully and quietly suppress all those and deal with those distractions. And we went to elections with 87,000. And when we say 87,000, we don't want to get into the politics of whether those votes were only 87,000 or not. But let's take what was given to us. We went there with 87,000 votes that were supporting us. Those were not members of ATM. Those were supporters of the values of ATM. Those were supporters of the hope that ATM represents. Those were supporters or people that were saying, we are tired of what is happening. We want a fresh air. We want a new breath that is starting to take us forward. That was the first highlight. Few years later, we started saying, no, we cannot only concentrate on supporters. We need structured organization. We need to build the organization. We need to build the party. And that is why if now you look into our head office, we're talking about members. in good standing. We're talking about building branches of ATM. Now, if you're talking about building branches, it means that over and above the people that support you, you've got foot soldiers that you can be sure that they will be multiplying themselves ahead of the 20 elections. And I'm very happy, as much as I'm not sitting in the position of the SG to say how many branches, but I'm looking at Eastern Cape, I'm looking at Joburg, I'm looking at Free State. Lord, I'm looking at the numbers that were revealed in our last NEC of Western Cape, where we're talking about continuously launching branches, and that is growth on its own.
It's general elections next year. There are many political parties.
Yes.
There is also a possibility of independent candidates. This means voters will be spoiled for choice. Why must the public choose ATM as a political party to govern this country?
For me, there are so many, but let me just mention one thing. The values of the ATM are not only values that are written values. I can assure you, I can attest to what I'm saying. You're talking about leaders that live those values on a daily basis. And people make a mistake because we were founded by TACC and think that ATM is TACC. No, we were founded by TACC. But if you look at the leadership that is here, forget about the political parties, of the South African Council of Messianic Churches, which is actually having more than 48 members of the South African Council of Messianic Churches. You're looking at leaders that you can be sure that they live those values. And South Africa right now is frustrated because people, every time they get into position because they are thinking of themselves. And here we are building and taking and choosing carefully leaders that we can be sure that their interests are about people. The fact that we're saying that we are not a Christian party, but a faith-based organization, it's because we're thinking of the leaders that fear God. People that fear God in the first place. As I said, there are so many things that I can mention. But here we're talking about the character. It is the character that has put us in this place. The corruption that is raging in South Africa, the crime that is here, it is because of the character. It is because people no longer care about other people than themselves. We offer leaders, incredible leaders of integrity, leaders that do not think of themselves, but think of the people of God.
During the launch of the 2024 election campaign, there's something mentioned about a spiritual father or a spiritual head within the ATM. In 1 minute, what is the role of a spiritual head in the ATM, and what is a spiritual head in politics?
The spiritual head in politics, and in particular ATM, talks exactly to that character that I'm talking about. Whilst you cannot automatically say that everybody who is a Christian or a faith-based person it has got a certain character, but we've got a spiritual head that works with council of elders coming from other churches, coming from other faith-based organizations that are guiding the character of the organization through the leaders that are there. So they've got more influence also in who is in the leadership of the ATM and what decisions are being taken there, because we believe in South Africa, as all these other funny enough, the political organizations, they will always say, we've got this problem, please churches come and pray for us, which means that they know that there is a spiritual warfare, but they don't. Actually, they are part of the problem in the spiritual realm. So we've got leaders that are able to guide us to know that this is not only about physical issues, but there are spiritual issues. If we say, Uchiko said, thy kingdom come, it doesn't say we must go to his kingdom. He said his kingdom must come on earth, and things must be done on earth as they are done in heaven. So it's only people who understand what is the will of God. It's only people who know that kingdom of God that can be able to drive our daily lives, our politics, our economy. The economy is not something that is against spirituality. The economy is what God said to us, Ukuti, this is what I am giving you, have dominion over it. That is economy. And now we need such spiritual guidance to ensure that people of South Africa at the end of the day are able to have dominion over the economy, over the minerals, not people that are not living here. So the role of the spiritual head with the Council of Elders is to guide the political organization into a certain character that will change this South Africa for good.
That was Mandi Samashia, Chairperson of the African Transformation Movement. Good luck with your election campaign. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Sheds. We continue shedding light on the ATM on its 5-year celebration, as well as launching its 2024 national elections. Joining me now is the president of the ATM, Violet Zungula. President Molo. You shot to politics in 2019 when you became a member of parliament as the president of the ATM after contesting elections. How has been work in parliament been? And is it something that you anticipated, or there were difficulties, or like easy things that you found there?
Look, I expected Parliament to be a space whereby it is ideas that will actually guide any engagement, not loyalty because of party affiliation, because ideas it should be what we deliberate on for the betterment of the lives of the people. However, the reality is that even if the right idea comes, even if it comes from an opposition party or a party that is different from yours, you find that it gets to be shut down in Parliament. So one of the biggest issues that is limiting the development in our country is people not wanting to follow what the idea says and how benefit it could be to the people, but rather they want to confine themselves as to who is saying what. So that is what I found as something that is difficult to navigate when it comes to our work in Parliament.
Is there a specific idea that you may have proposed in Parliament, maybe an amendment of a bill or a new bill altogether, that may have been shot down by Parliament because of its majoritarianism that it uses there?
I won't take you far. December, there was a vote whether to investigate a president. And any country would know that in order to give confidence to the people that all people are equal before the law, the president must be investigated. And because the president must be investigated, that would give confidence to the people that all people are equal before the law and there's no one that is above the law. But what the ANC did there was to protect a person whom they claim is innocent from being investigated, which makes no sense how you would want to stop an investigation on a person that you claim that is innocent. So it's one of the many issues that are brought up in Parliament. Remember, there was a time whereby there was a motion whether to investigate the corruption in ESCOM. They shut down the motion. It was another motion, speaking about to have an oversight committee over the new electricity minister. They also shut it down. So you find that what limits Parliament, honestly, is that people do not want to listen to the principle. They are guided by party loyalty.
You are clearly frustrated by the majority, which you are not enjoying in Parliament. And today, speaking and addressing your members, you spoke about key things that you want to be looking at as the ATM: education, local economy, corrupt police, load shedding. How is the ATM policy-wise and in terms of ideas that it's offering the electorate? How are you shaping yourself up for elections next year in order to avoid not having that majority which is frustrating you now?
Look, the most important thing is that the people, they need to vote in line with the kind of future they want to live in. They can't be voting because of the past or not wanting to participate in voting at all. So what we're saying is the ATM, critically, we need to invest in the future. And the future lies in educating our young people. The young people, they must go to a space in the schools, a space that will open their hearts, open their minds, so that it's an environment of learning. If you go to a private school, go look at the infrastructure there. Utungena, you get a feel that this is a learning environment, the bright colors, everything is fine. Go to the public schools, you find that there's pit toilets, there's broken windows, the infrastructure is not at all proper. So that is the first thing that we're saying. Invest in proper infrastructure so that the learning environment is conducive for learning. The second issue is that we need to have a skills-based education system to respond to the skills-based economy that we have now, because people need skills. And we're thinking about critical skills such as critical thinking, complex problem solving, and creativity, because if, for example, you are able to think critically, you are going to be able to solve a problem. And what do people do if they want, for example, to create a product? That product, they are doing a product to solve a particular problem. or they want to employ people that will solve certain problems. So once people have got that skill of complex problem solving, then they'll be employable, and more than being employable, they are going to be able on their own to create jobs on their own. The second issue that we spoke about was the issue of the economy, to say we need an economy that people participate in. We don't want an economy whereby people say this is the GDP of the country, but when you look at the participation of the people, it is nowhere to be seen. So that is why, as the ATM was saying, the state must intervene in some sectors of the economy in order to make an economy that will make abantu to be able to participate in. I made an example about private schools. They'll tell you where to buy uniform. And you find that the company where you need to buy uniform has got a relationship or interest or is in a sister group with this school. And that creates business for that particular schooling company. Now, how is it that the government is not intervening to say, in a certain municipality, we're going to have these cooperatives. Cooperatives are going to be various citizens that will utilize their skills and make sure that they are able to produce a product which is school uniform. That way, you won't have one company, which is Student Prince, that is dominating the sector. Rather, you are going to have various people Evembe, they are going to use uniform that has been manufactured as Evembe. If you go to Free State, you are going to have the very same, you are going to have people from that area that are going to be utilizing uniform that has been produced in that particular area. Then the last issue was the issue of crime. You know how it is now. So the first thing that we're saying is the ATM, the police service needs to understand that it is there to serve the people, not to unleash brutality on the people. We don't like what we were seeing at CPUT, whereby students are being shot. Andy Statane would have been alive now if it was not for police brutality. The fact that when women have to go to police stations to report rape cases, they dread for their lives because of the treatment they're going to get there. So we're saying that that needs to be inculcated in the service and training of the police. The second issue is to employ these police reservists so that there is more police visibility. And the last one, deal with the corrupt policemen, because they are the ones that are ruining the image of police that are doing their work diligently.
Thank you, President. Just in 30 seconds, your message to the youth. Voter apathy is rife amongst the youth. They are despondent. They don't go out. Why must the youth go out and vote?
The youth must vote because their vote actually determines the kind of country they're going to live in. We're not going to sleep today, wake up tomorrow. We are living in a country with full of opportunities, no crime, etc. It is the young people that need to shape their own future. I like the saying by young people, "It's nothing about us without us." Now, the future of young people depends on them voting and them actually understanding how politics has got a day-to-day impact on their lives, whether they get quality education, they are able to have free education, they are able to have jobs, etc. So we want to also to remind young people that they must not be misled by this thinking, Okuba, the youth is the future, thinking, Okuba, they are going to make it in life in the future. They need to direct that future because that is what is needed.
Thank you very much, President, and good luck with the elections next year. That is the President of the African Transformation Movement, Violo Chizumbula. You have been watching The Sheds. Welcome once again. We are continuing shedding the light on the African Transformation Movement on its celebration of 5 years, as well as launching its election campaign for 2024. Part of what the ATM has done was to invite various political parties to come and give messages of support. Joining me now is Umpile Maute, the Treasurer General of the EFF. Moses. Why did you agree to come and give message of support to another political party, a potential rival?
No, thank you very much for having us. So we live as the people and we live amongst one another. So we always invite other political parties that are progressive, that are speaking the same language we are speaking, in a quest to really unite Africans, unite Africa. So when we received the invitation by the African Transformation Movement, we were equally excited. And we felt we need to honor this celebration. They are turning 5 years. They are also launching their election campaign. We are going into 2024 next year, elections next year. We need all left progressive parties to join hands together. What is unique about the ATM is that they are Christian. They believe in Christianity. And they managed to unite Christians even behind the banner of politics, which is something that is very commendable, done by the ATM. I mean, you had the spiritual father saying everybody who came here transported themselves. So you can see how they are organized as a church, but also as a political movement. So we're happy to be here. We've honored, we've pledged our support to ATM because we can see the work that they are doing. There in Parliament, we've got a good alliance with the ATM because every time we speak, every time they speak, we speak the same thing. Our enemy is common. You and I are not enemies. Enemy is white monopoly capital. And that's what we agree on as the EFF and the ATM. And therefore we are here and we are happy to have been part of this celebration.
What was your message to the ATM? What is it that you are telling the ATM as the EFF? And I want to talk to you about your imminent celebration to your 10-year anniversary as well. But what was your message to the EFF? Is there any caution? Is there any advice? Is there any support of any specific thing that the ATM have done?
So our message was to say to the ATM, remember, we agree on matters of principle. We agree with the ATM that we need to expropriate land without compensation. That is the long question that we agree with the ATM. We agree with the ATM that we need to nationalize the mines, banks, and other strategic sectors of the economy. So we were reminding them and telling the world that this is who we are as the EFF. But our message is not only the EFF message, it's also the ATM message. We agree with the ATM that we need to build state capacity. Today, the state that is supposed to be building its own capacity is privatizing its own strategic sectors. You've seen SA Express is gone. SAA, we don't know what's happening. We don't know whether we have SAA, we don't have, but what we know is that the government is no longer the majority shareholder. Eskom is collapsing. They are now talking of disbanding Eskom. That is going to be privatized. Transnet is the same thing. The ports have already been privatized. Now they want to enter the rail. So we agree with the ATM that we can't do that. We need state capacity. We also agree with the ATM that we need to have free quality healthcare, housing and sanitation in the country. We agree we need free quality education. We agree that we need to create industrialization in this country to create millions of jobs. We agree that we need a corrupt-free government in South Africa. So those are the principles that made us what we are as the EFF. That's our 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars. And that's what the ATM also is advocating for. So we are saying to the ATM, you are us, we are you. Let's fight this war together. United, we stand. And that's the message that we send today.
Does that mean, should there be no outright winner in elections next year, does that mean the ATM is part of political parties whom you consider forming a government with?
That is what we said in our speech. We said, should there be no outright winner next year, ATM must find its way through progressive parties to come and join hands to form a government that will deliver services to the people. From the look of things and the researches that has been done, it looks like we won't get an outright majority. The ANC will not get 50%, and no one will. And therefore, it says at the national level, which will be the first time, by the way, it happens at the national level. We've seen it happening at the local level. We might see ourselves having a coalition government at the national level. And we're saying to the ATM, be open-minded to likewise organizations. Don't go with the... And what is good is that both EFF and ATM were not part of the stupid moon-packed shoot of the DA. We're not included in there. Why? Because correctly so, the DA said the EFF is the enemy number one. Because we will never agree with the DA. The DA, they are holding us back. They've got everything else that we need as the EFF. So our ideology and their ideology, they are far apart. They are capitalists, we are socialists. So we'll never agree with them on anything. So they are correct to say we are enemy number one because they can see the growth of the EFF. And of course, when we go to the table, ATM will always negotiate with the ATM. We are currently negotiating with the ATM on many issues, including the ones in Parliament. where the Section 194 Committee of Advocate Busem Kobani are permanently negotiations with the ATM and the UDM. Be it the Pala issue, we all also consulted and negotiated with the ATM. So we're already working together as the EFF and the ATM, and we are saying, going into 2024, we'll form a good coalition government.
Cool. Just in 1.5 minutes, your own 10th anniversary is coming up on the 20th of July. Have you invited the ATM? How are the preparations going? And I would like you to come back just for a broader discussion on that, but just quickly now.
Yeah, quickly, our preparations are ongoing. We're having meetings on a weekly basis to check how things are. We're planning for everything. That stadium, we're going to FNB Stadium on the 29th of July. It's about 87,000 seater. So you can imagine that to bring 87,000 people, feed them, give them T-shirts, transport them, have a big stage and sound that will cover the entire stadium. It needs a thorough preparations. So we are very happy, but also we've started with the celebrations. As you can see, we as the EFF, we resonate with the downtrodden, the poor masses of our people, those who are unable to fight for themselves. Those are the people we fight for. So as we marked the journey of celebrating 10 years, we started with the children's home in Western Cape. We went to celebrate there. 2 weeks back, we were in Gauteng, celebrating in Gauteng with the children with disability. We're going to each and every province before the 29th of July to celebrate with them and to say to them, here is your organization. We are now 10 in 10 years. The doomsayers said we will not go past the 2014 NPA. We went past it. The doomsayers came back and said we will not go beyond 2019. We went to 2019, we came back. Parliament, we increased our numbers from 25 to 44 members. So we're very happy. And we want to invite everybody to please make your way. Don't miss out on this one. This is 10 years of celebration. Don't miss out.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck with your own anniversary. High five. That was Umpilo Mawute, Treasurer General of the EFF, on their message of support to the ATM. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Shed. My name is Nyanso Chegu. We continue shedding light on the African Transformation Movement with celebrating 5 years of existence as well as launching its own election campaign for 2024. Joining me now is Gobani Nzongana, President of the Land Party. How are you?
I'm fine, man. All right.
I'm all right, man. You agreed to come and give message of support to the ATM as the Land Party. Why is that? We often think political parties are enemies.
No, not at all. You know, Land Party, it was born out of land protest. So its formation, it was based on community-based organization, so it is much more vested in the community. Now, in the community, we've got different people from different political backgrounds and all that stuff. So the reason why we find ourselves here is because in last year, 2022, in July, we adopted a document in the plenum of the Land Party. In that document, it was a strategy of saying, how do we approach 2024? Making sure that we consolidate a left front to block. We knew that something like a moonshot will come out. So we wanted to block something that we know that the DA and the Freedom Front Plus and the ACTP were busy cooking behind closed doors. So we decided to share this document with all these left progressive formations, also with some of the black formations movements. That is why, for us, it was very important that we come and accept the invite, because definitely we want to go with a very strong united front towards 2024.
What was the message of support to the ATM? What is it that you said the ATM must do or mustn't do? Or which aspect of what the ATM politics did you congratulate ATM on?
Look, one, it's accountability, being frank, speaking and directly confront, the corrupt political elite in Parliament. I think you know that the President of the ATM have raised sharply criticism about the Phala, which is one of the biggest scandals after Nkandla, So those are the kind of things, because fighting corruption, because corruption at the end of the day, it's an enemy of the poor. Because if political organizations, particularly leaders, are stealing from the poor, then at the end of the day, those people, it means that they don't care about the people, you understand? So one of the most important things was that we look beyond our differences, but what is important, 2024, the importance, which is, we call it the CODESA tool, that is probably gonna come. So we want to build this relationship, and we see the ATM is also committed in the unity of black progressive movements. So that is one of the common goals that we share with the ATM.
You keep mentioning 2024, which is the elections next year.
Yes.
What is the Land Party offering? What are you busy with as part of your own preparation for 2024?
I think in July, we will be having, from the 28th till to the 30th of July, we will be having our plenum here in Nelson Mandela Bay as the Land Party. That's where we will also be able, to finalize our manifesto, where currently we are consulting communities to send their submissions regarding what they want and all that stuff from the party. So our approach is that for 2024, it's very important that we go to 2024 as a united front, particularly as a left front, against the corrupt political elite and those who are the puppets of the West, which we believe that ATM is also anti-imperialism, and we believe that it is much more strong about Africanism, which is one of the key things that we believe as a Land Party, that let's take these things and make sure that as Africans we come up with something that is progressive, that will benefit our people.
Does that mean in the 2024 election, should we experience what we experienced in the recent local government elections in 2021, where there is no outright majority winner in one particular province or the country as a whole? Does that mean you would consider ATM as one of the political parties with whom to form a coalition government?
Yeah, look, definitely. Look, for instance, let me share the document of the Land Party approaching 2024. We are saying, for instance, EFF, BLF, ATM, PAC, AZAPO, all these organizations, APC, we say, guys, this is a document. How do we defeat these right-wing groups and liberal centrist groups like the ANC? For instance, if we agree, all of us, Zungula and whatever, let's say, for instance, Malema must lead the left front. Why we cannot agree on that? If we're saying, okay, fine, Comrade Julius, how do we agree that Zungula must lead the left front? But again, going to the population and the masses campaigning, we're still going with our T-shirts, with our organization, with our banners. We have one thing, a flag that will have all these progressive movements on the one banner. Then we're saying, this is a left front, this is a candidate that we think all of us, let's support going to 2024. So that is how we approach it. So definitely, ATM is one of the parties that we can work with.
Cool. Just lastly, the youth is among the cohort of people who have not been coming out in their large numbers to cast their votes.
Yes.
They actually are the reasons why we have hung councils, but they don't go out and vote. What is your message to the youth, and how can you encourage the youth to vote?
Look, if I've got a different opinion, I think it's mischievous to say young people do not go out and vote. The only thing I can tell you, in fact, it is the old people that do not go out and vote, not young people. It's vice versa.
Okay.
Because what is happening is that you find people who are saying, we've been voting since 1994. We don't see any change. Now, others are saying, I would rather stay at home and not going and vote. Others are saying, okay, fine, we've been voting for this political, we've been disappointed. So we don't trust them. So that mentality is embedded from the old generation, not to the young people. The people who keep on come on voting in the new elections, it's always actually the young people.
Thank you very much, Mklaza.
Cool.
And good luck with your own things. You must come back for more.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That was the sheds. We've been shedding light on the ATM, speaking to the ATM leadership, as well as political parties who came in to give the message of support to the ATM. Thank you very much for watching. Keep following us on the sheds on all social media platforms, and watch our Soweto TV show on Soweto TV, channel 251 at 9 o'clock every Monday. Thank you very much.